Ready to roll?
Ready?
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. I'll ask the controller to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Gary. I trust everybody's had an opportunity to review the items included in advance of the meeting, including the minutes from last month's meeting. So I'll entertain a motion to waive the reading and approve the minutes as circulated.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. The meeting minutes from the March 2025 meeting are approved. How about anybody from the public wish to address the board on agenda items only? Okay, I see no one approaching, so we'll move on to the agenda items. First is, I will note for the record, Mr. McConaughey has not been able to get his report together last month and this month due to some difficulties in his staff, health issues, but we hope to have him back for next week. Or next month, I'm sorry. So first item is a motion to approve all current payables for the Community Corrections Center and the prison. Again, these were circulated in advance of today's meeting, and I trust everybody's had an opportunity to review them. And if so, I'll entertain a motion to approve the current payables.
Motion.
I have a motion.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Next, we'll move on to our reports. And first up is Mr. DeBillio.
Thank you, Judge. The Controller's report of the prison inmate and canteen accounts for February of 2025. The Controller's Office reviewed the prison inmate and canteen account reconciliations, which were prepared by the Prison Business Office for the month of February 2025 and found no discrepancies between the reconciliations and the bank statements. The balance in the inmate account was $483,103.12 as of March 31st of 2025. The balance in the canteen checking account was $549,526.49 as of March 31st. In addition, as of March 31st, the canteen account also included a balance in the Pennsylvania Local Government Investment Trust investment accounts totaling $947,816.61, which is earning approximately $3,455 per month, and which will mature next in July of 2025. And during the month of February 2025, $71,734.61 was paid from the canteen account for the benefit, welfare, and education of Lackawanna County inmates. And an itemized detail of those expenses are attached to my report. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Controller, any questions for the Controller on his report? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve it.
Motion.
Do I have a second? I've got a second. On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. DeBillio. Next is the Warden's report.
Good afternoon, Board. The average daily population for March was 692 inmates, 544 were county inmates. We averaged 609 adult males, 3 juvenile males, and 80 adult females. and the average daily population of U.S. Marshal detainees was 148. Our overtime and out-of-county boarding reports are attached. A staffing update, current numbers are 174 full-time officers on shift, 4 on workers' comp, 0 on continuous FMLA, but 90 with intermittent FMLA. We have 2 on administrative leave, and we have 2 full-time vacancies, for a total of 182 full-time officers. Our budget as of March 31st, revenue was at 30%, and expenses were at 25%. And there were 5 extraordinary occurrences in the month of March. On March 12th, a newly committed male inmate was being uncooperative with staff orders and refused to leave the shower area. The incident escalated to a physical confrontation between this inmate and security staff. At this point, staff placed him in the emergency restraint chair for the safety of everyone involved. On March 23rd, an inmate who was on a behavioral watch was observed committing self-harming behavior. Due to his stated intentions of continuing that self-harming behavior, staff made a decision to place him in the emergency restraint chair for his safety. Also on March 23rd, a female detainee began acting irrationally and was demanding that she be placed in the emergency restraint chair. Her behavior escalated to the point of trying to engage staff in a physical altercation, and then she got on the cement floor and was trying to hit her head off of the floor. At this point, staff decided for her safety to place her in the emergency restraint chair. On March 26th, a male detainee was returning from a visit and engaged a fellow inmate in a physical altercation. Staff were initially unable to separate the two until they deployed OC spray. And at this point, both individuals were separated one from the other, and they were moved to the restrictive housing unit pending misconduct hearings. And finally, on March 27th, a male detainee disobeyed staff orders and attempted to shove past them. The situation escalated to a physical confrontation, and staff had to use OC spray to gain control of this individual. He was then transferred to the restrictive housing unit pending a misconduct hearing. There were 3 PREA investigations completed in the month of March. One was an allegation of inmate sexual harassment. It was deemed unfounded. 2 of them were inmate sexual contact allegations. One was unfounded and the other was founded. The founded one it was a consensual thing, but it still goes against the rules of PREA. All completed investigations have been forwarded to the DA's office for further action if deemed appropriate. And this concludes my report.
Thank you, Warden. Any questions for the Warden on his report?
I have a question, not necessarily on the report, but can you, I know we just passed the legislation to approve the GED program with outreach. Would you be able to provide us with updates on how that's progressing? As I'm sure, I don't know if they've started yet because it's so new. And then maybe it would be possible as part of your report or another report just to give us an update on how that program is, like how many GEDs are how they're accomplishing that. Like
Okay, that won't be a problem. It did not get started yet. Okay. Right now, outreach is still getting all the stuff together and the appropriate staff for providing the classes. We expect that it will be starting soon, and I could certainly, starting in May, have that included in the Warden's report.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
Anybody else have any questions for the Warden? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve his report. Motion. I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Thank you, Warden. Stick around. I'm sure there'll be some questions from the public for you. So I want to have an executive session, but we'll do it after we listen to anybody from the public. Joan?
Joan Hodawan, Scranton. So when are we finally going to get a new warden? I distinctly remember him telling us last year he wanted to resign. And here we are on April 16th, and he's still here. Just like a bad penny, we can't get rid of him. So what's going on?
We're not letting him.
He's still smiling, for the record. It's in process.
Okay.
It's a
Are you
personnel.
he's gonna be hard to replace. He's done a superb job. But, you know, time moves on, and he probably has plans, and you should all have plans too. So hopefully you'll get a good candidate, and there'll be a good transition between the two people, and you'll move on. But I've been curious. What was it, like 6 months ago you announced your resignation?
I am going to Disney.
Okay, that's all.
I remember when my father retired, he was asked if he had any plans, and he said, "I have no plans, and I have no plans to make plans." Anybody else from the public? Come on up. State your name, please.
Leslie Smith. I am a former inmate from Lackawanna County Prison. I wanted to come here today to bring up some certain concerns that us inmates in the prison have regarding sanitation, healthcare, commissary, nutrition. There are so many things behind these walls that are left unseen and unchecked. Healthcare is an issue. I have a girl in there right now who has AFib. She's not getting the proper medications. She's not getting proper medical care. I was just on the phone with her the other day, and she fainted while I was on the phone with her. She died and coded on my birthday, October 23rd, and was taken to the hospital. She was in a coma for 2 days. She still does not get a proper diet tray. She's still not getting the proper medications. I myself was in there. I have a gastric bypass. There are certain foods that I cannot eat. My diet tray was ridiculous. Inmates do not get adequate nutrition. The food there is not hardly edible. It is dripping in grease. It's loaded with sodium. The commissary list is not much better. It's all junk food. The showers have black mold. There's black mold and mushrooms growing out of the cells. We are concerned that the living conditions are very, very bad, and there are better things and programs that can be used with $200,000 rather than a testing site that hardly any of the population in there even wants to use. Yes, it would be beneficial, but there's better programs geared towards recovery. When inmates call it, the recording says it's a correctional facility, but there are no programs to correct. So as a former inmate and speaking for people still behind the walls, we inmates would like to see better programs, better food, better health care, because we are not learning anything in there. We're just left there to stew. So that's my address for today. Thank you.
Okay, and thank you. If you give your daughter's name to the warden or either one of the deputy wardens there, because you indicated that she had
Not daughter, it's just another friend that's in there.
Okay. Well, if you pass along that name to them, they can double check on that.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Bev?
Bev DeBarros, Scranton. Couple things. We really do need a new commissioner as much as we need a new warden to go forward. Everything is at a standstill and not a good place. For one thing, this book that I brought a couple meetings ago, Marked for Life, by Isaac Wright Jr. It's published by Macmillan. It's not on the tablets, and it's very pertinent to the law library. So could that be put on the tablets to be accessed by the people who use the tablets? Speaking of the tablets, this is a note from yesterday. This is a woman in there. She says, I'll just read word for word. Gagnon Treatment Court. I hear the girls in here talking about this program. My lawyer told me I didn't qualify for drug court, So I tried looking into the Gagnon and see if I would qualify for what, but couldn't figure out how to find it on my tablet. My family didn't understand what I was talking about. I left 3 messages for my lawyer and never got a response. So I went to court and just took the SIP program, still not knowing which one would be best for me. I went to court praying that I would get what was best for me, so I have to believe that Gagnon treatment would not have been best for me. For the SIP program, the state program, this is what I have been sentenced to. I was told 3, 3 plus 3, which was 3 months of something, 3 months of something else, and 3 months of something else. But I've been hearing all different things from the girls who have done it. I feel that we should have brochures which describe these programs in a special dictionary, just so we could look up the lingo they use, the terminology. She described in detail, okay, you got the picture.
Okay.
For the commissioner, I hope somebody considers Diana Campbell. I voted for her. She ran for commissioner last time, and she has, of all the candidates, then she had the most knowledge about the prison, and she would be good in there for us. Thanks.
Thanks, Bev. Oh. Anybody else? Yes.
Suzanne Green, Benton Township, Lackawanna County. I have not been to a prison meeting prior to this, but hearing the young woman who is a prior inmate at the prison state several things that should be addressed and were not addressed. First was living conditions. She stated that there is uncleanliness, including mold growing in the showers. I'd like that to be addressed. If it can't be addressed today, then it should be addressed at the next meeting by the warden. The next is nutrition. The nutrition of the population is of paramount concern because nutrition could lead to behavior patterns which may not be appropriate. We heard that there's not good food. I think that might be the statement she made. There's dripping with grease is what I heard as well. So I think the menu for the prison may be a good option, but that needs to be addressed by perhaps the warden at the next meeting if it can't be addressed today. Another was health care of the folks who are living in the facility. She had said that there's someone who has a heart problem and it's not being addressed at the prison. This is a concern. As a citizen, I want the health conditions, the folks who are staying there, the prisoners, to have proper health care. So that needs to be addressed immediately. Thank you so much for asking her for that contact information so that could be addressed today for that individual. But for others in the facility, we need to be ensuring that they're provided with proper health care. It may be a reason why other folks who, the warden had stated were some problems this month, it may be the reason why there are problems occurring if they're not provided with proper health care. Mental health care. She did not state that, but it could be the reason why there's problems with behavioral issues. We heard that there sounded like there was a young person, at least one, maybe more, who was banging their head off the floor. That's mental health concern. What's being done? That should be part of the warden's program. It should be the programs there at the prison should be part of his discussion with the board and for the public to hear. Living conditions is the reason that's brought me out here today. I want to ensure that folks who are there are provided with what is needed from the public. And it's called a correctional facility. She's right. It should have some correctional programs in it. GED program is a good start. Maybe there's some money in that could help with some other correctional type programs. Thank you.
Thank you. And just so, we started with a new healthcare provider in January of this year, and we actually underwent a statewide inspection last year. There was some mold that was discovered in some of the shower areas, and that was in a report, but that's been abated, and our food is under the eyes of registered dietitians. It's not probably what any one of us would go out and order at lunch if we went out to lunch every day, but it's not supposed to be either. But I trust, I assure you that, and there are a lot more programs other than a GED program. And you're welcome to come to any meeting that we have, because we have all kinds of rehabilitative programs that go on a daily basis
Right.
inside.
Thank you for that information. I do appreciate that. Perhaps the suggestion of having specifically the menu available so that the public can be aware, and that the population could be aware what the menu is, to show that it is nutritious and it is edible and it's appropriate for the prison. And the healthcare, if there's a new provider that's been in, then they may have to be providing medical assistance for every single prisoner there and an exam so that they can ensure that they're providing proper health care for all prisoners. And as far as the cleanliness, there should be a quality assurance then if you had it remediated, because what we just heard is that there is mold right now in the showers, and there's mushrooms growing from them. As a citizen, I want my money to be well spent, and that would be including doing things that are appropriate so there's not recidivism. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Cian Amanda Straub. I'm a former inmate.
What'd you say your name was? I'm sorry?
Cian Amanda Straub.
Okay.
I'm a former inmate at Lackawanna County Prison. I'm also a mother. COVID is over. We have to, as mothers, our visitation is spent for an hour on a video screen through CYS and the county jail. Do you know how hard it is to keep a 4-year-old entertained for an hour on a video screen? It's really hard. We need to have rehabilitation. That means uniting kids back with their families. I did a lot of messed up things, but that doesn't mean I have to sit there and see my daughter on a video screen. COVID's over. We need to get back with CYS and the county jail having physical contact with our kids. That's crazy that we don't have it. You talk about, I was there when L Block was closed. My roommate was a federal inmate. She had a stroke in the gym. The healthcare providers gave her a Gatorade and told her to put her feet up. That's what we're dealing with. There is no programs. Half the programs are closed, or there's not enough inmates that sign up because there needs to be 15 inmates. On L Block, there wasn't that many inmates. We were a small female block. You're not going to have a lot of inmates there. Not a lot of inmates that want to actually recover and do something with their lives. Most of them want to just sit there. But there's some of us that are recovering mothers that want to do something. And we can't do it because there's not enough inmates signing up. Or the people that want to run these programs don't sign up. And we have parenting that goes on, twice a year for the women in there? Are you kidding me? There's more that needs to be done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chelsea Foley, former inmate. I would also like to see something done with the healthcare. When I was there, I fractured my foot. I was sentenced, I wasn't sentenced at that point, no. Went to rehab. Right before I was supposed to go to rehab, they told me they were gonna finally send me for an x-ray. Obviously, I went to rehab and got it done, found out my foot was fractured. They let it go for 2 months. And I have a lot of issues with my foot now because of that. And also with the food, I don't know how you guys think that's nutritious. It's slop. And I get we're We're in there for doing bad shit. But not everybody that's in there for doing bad shit is horrible. You don't deserve to be fed like dogs. Not really fair. That is it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one question for you, ma'am.
Yeah.
When did you hurt your foot in there?
Um,
Like, when were you in there and hurt your foot?
October of 2022.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
The prior medical, okay.
Good afternoon. I'm Maggie Craig from Scranton. I just wanted to touch base about ensuring that there's adequate access to a law library inside of the facility, which, as you know, is a constitutional right. And I believe where we're at with that is that the link to LexisNexis is an adequate access to the courts. When I was here in January, I asked you all if you would actually navigate the link on the tablets when we had the prison board meeting in the prison, which happened last month. Were you able to get a tablet and actually navigate the law library?
I can't tell you that I did. I did not.
Has anyone actually clicked on that link and tried to navigate the law library as it said to be? Yeah. Do you think that's important maybe to check for yourselves to know if it's adequate? Yeah. And I think the other thing is access to the courts is so important, but also, you know, people who are incarcerated there are forced to handwrite letters to judges. They don't have access to a computer where they can print it out and send it in. As a judge, would you maybe look at a handwritten letter differently than a typed letter?
I don't. No, I mean, if someone's going to take the time to sit down and handwrite a letter, I give that equal amount of time as I get typewritten letters.
Do you think it's important to be able to type out letters? Yeah, it could, right? Yeah, it could be an important thing. So I'm just asking that maybe a little bit more attention is given to the law library inside of the prison to ensure that it's an adequate access. The other thing is tablets. There are enough tablets for the people who are incarcerated. We keep hearing that, but there's not one tablet per person. So not everyone has access to tablets all the time. So is having a link on a tablet really the best way to make sure people can look up information about their court cases? Do you think?
Well, the only way they're going to be able to look up information about their own court cases is by having a link to a court, because otherwise there is no other way for them to access their own court cases information
But
outside of their attorneys.
Right, but like if you have a pro se individual, do you think they would have all the access they needed to research their own court case?
On the current tablets?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
As the DA, I get letters and motions filed every day by inmates, and we read them and we respond to them. Could there be, do we want to have broader access? Do we want to give them broader access? Sure we do.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect system.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I think it's like if you look at other facilities, they do have physical law libraries. So I wonder why here in Lackawanna County we can't do that. And I'll come again and check in next time. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Maggie. Anybody else? Liz?
Hello, Liz Parsons. I'm interested in the status of the review of the solitary confinement policy.
It was provided to me, I think I told you that after the last meeting, and I circulated it to the other members. I haven't had a chance to talk with them and get their thoughts on it yet. But I think I also told you my intent is to post it on the county website.
Mm-hmm. Is there a timeline maybe for when you all plan to discuss it? I know you'd probably have to come together in an executive session, so will it be this month, next month? I know you contracted Dan probably about a year ago or more, and he did an in-depth review.
He did,
And
yeah, and he met
so-
with you and
Yeah.
and others too.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I've had a chance to review it, but I haven't had a chance to discuss with the other members of the board what their thoughts are on it yet. But so as soon as I can do that, and as you say, we have to come together, and we're together here today. It's not exactly a thing for executive session, but we're here today, so I'll
Right. Well, I guess, is there a commitment from the board to, you all have it in your possession now? Would you commit to maybe reviewing it over the next month, calling for executive session in the May meeting so it could be released to the public? I mean, we've been talking and advocating against solitary confinement now for 3 years, like pretty adamantly, and I'm sure even beyond that as well. And so it is a major issue. It's inhumane, it's torture, and I'd really like to see the report that Dan spent a year of his time on, and that some of us have contributed our time on. So can we get a commitment from the board to review it over this next month and call for executive session in May?
I don't see why not.
Okay, great. That sounds like a plan.
Okay.
And I also just, you know, I'm hearing the formerly incarcerated individuals address the board. A lot of us have been coming here for years on the topic of solitary, but also on the topic of medical care, the food quality. You know, I don't want to sound like I'm on a soapbox, but I guess I just urge everybody to maybe think for a moment, like in your own free time, about why we feel that prison needs to be so punitive. Warden Betty has stated already that over half of the population hasn't even been found guilty of a harm to the community. Being removed from society is the punishment. We have over $1 million in commissary funds that are invested for the welfare of the people incarcerated there. But you've heard that there's no programming, that there's inadequate food. I know you've addressed the medical care. Hopefully that will improve. I doubt it based on the articles we've read about the company, but we'll see. And so, you know, being removed from society, being removed from your children, not being able to hug your family is the punishment in itself. And so why are we not like addressing these issues that advocates and formerly incarcerated people, family members have come in and addressed month after month after month for years? And so I guess I just ask you all to reflect on that, like in your own personal time, and I'll be happy to follow up next month and see if maybe there's some answer to why we feel we have to punish people so harshly when many of them haven't been convicted, found guilty, and even if they have, that doesn't diminish the fact that they're all still human and deserve basic human rights. And again, we have a ton of money that just sits and grows interest, and we reinvest it over and over again. Well, I can't say we because I'm not doing that, but yeah, so I just urge you to maybe consider why these issues haven't been addressed. And I myself personally feel written off every month when I come here. We have small movement in some areas, but it's nothing substantial. It's not very meaningful. And you're all charged with caring for people. So, you know, I don't think the board is doing a great job at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I see nobody else, so I'll ask everybody to step outside so we can convene an executive session. courtroom, but I have people for that. Yeah. There we go. There she is. All right, so we're back. We discussed in executive session some personnel matters, and at this point, is there any other business from any of the members? Yes, we did. We're going to put the report of Dan Demuth up on the county website. I don't know how to do it, but we'll have somebody do it, somebody who knows how to do it. Felicia probably knows how to do it. How about you? Okay. Any other business from any of the members? Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. On the question. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.